Okay, so we're back and we're gonna start. So right now, Chris is stuffing the braciole. He took the steak and pounded it out. That's a top round. And he's putting that mixture that we talked about in the last video that he made. He's gonna kind of like just spread that out in a thin paste. Meantime, over here, I'm frying up the meat that's gonna go in the sauce. So we have sausage here with cheese and parsley. We have just a couple of pieces of spare rib meat and then some pork tenderloins that I'm browning in olive oil right now. That's gonna go into the sauce also. Okay? So we're just gonna brown that. We're really not trying to cook it all the way through. And then over here in this pot, we have the garlic in the olive oil. I'd say that's about a head of garlic. I like a lot of garlic. So I'm gonna turn that on to about a medium heat to get that ready to brown. And in the meantime, this is browning nicely, and then we'll go back over to Chris. So he put the mushroom mixture, and now he's putting on the prosciutto. Just a few thin slices. There you go. And then we have some provolone we're going to use also. We're going to put some grated cheese in there too. We use Romano cheese. And he's just going to lay that in there on top. This is a very old recipe that my grandfather used to make. And he's putting on some fresh basil and some fresh parsley. And now he's going to add the raisins, the yellow raisins that we hydrated with water and squeezed. Everything's just kind of like a layer, you know, a layer of each thing. And then he's going to put the pignoli nuts. I love pignoli nuts. They're delicious in the braciole, and they give it another layer and another texture. And now he's simply rolling it. And then he's going to put a toothpick in it to close it and to hold it closed, which is very simple. You do a weave technique with the toothpick. You go in and out. In and out. There you go. That's it, basically. You can do two. And now over here, let me go back to the meat. The meat is nicely browning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off for right now. And we're going to move that over here. And we're going to take this pot with this that we had the garlic heating up in. Let me put this flame on. We're going to do a medium flame. And we're going to let that heat up really good. It's going to get nice and hot and just start to brown. We don't want to overcook the garlic because burnt garlic doesn't taste good. It doesn't have a good flavor. And we don't want to burn it before this, before we get the tomatoes in the sauce. So we got it on a low heat, really. Okay, and now Chris is done with the braciole. So I'm going to take the braciole and I'm going to sit it in the, we'll put it right here for now in this plate. Now he's going to get ready for, that's what the braciole looks like. This is a nice big braciole. So Chris is going to start assembling the meatballs. And what he has here is, this is what they call a meatloaf mix, which is basically 3 meats they mix. Right, Chris?
Yeah, veal, pork, and beef.
So he's got the veal, pork, and beef. And that's the bread that we had soaked with milk and squeezed the milk out. He's putting that in. And he's mixing that thoroughly into the meat mixture first. That's what he's doing. And as the garlic is browning over here, I'm going to just take this braciole and put it in the pan so it can brown in there. And then I could slowly start adding the brown meat to that pan also. Like a sausage, a couple of pieces of the tenderloin. It looks really good. Look at that. And we'll add a nice pork chop in there. You know, we don't want to put too much meat right away, and I want to still brown that piece of braciole. So I'll add the rest of this in a few. And let's go back over here to Chris and the meatballs. So, he's got the meat incorporated with the bread by mixing it. Now he has the Romano cheese. I like a lot of cheese, so does Chris, so we just, no measurements really, we just put a nice amount of cheese. He's gonna put 1 egg.
Putting in 1 egg, this is about 3/4 of a pound of meat. If you have more meat, you might need another extra egg.
Yeah, more meat means extra egg if you have a little more meat. Now Chris likes to add a little bit of garlic powder also to really get that garlic flavor going, besides the fresh chopped garlic that he's using right now, and the fresh chopped parsley,
And the fresh basil.
and some fresh basil too also in there. And he's gonna add a little breadcrumb, not much, 1/4 of a cup maybe, and you're gonna just mix that. And you can also do a little salt and pepper if you like to taste. And that's the meatballs. And after he's incorporated all that together, he's going to roll a meatball, and we'll show you in a minute how you do that. So back over here to the braciole. There's the braciole. Nice. We're going to just give this a little turn. We're just going to turn it over. There we go. And we're going to brown that side. And I think I'm going to kick up the heat a little bit so this can really fry nice. So I'm going to start slowly adding the rest of the meat to the pan. Yeah. So that's basically, this pork chop we'll put on the side for now. But that's all the meat frying together. And over here, I have the tomatoes ready. I'm going to use 3 cans of crushed tomatoes. You can use whatever crushed tomatoes you like. We use a mix. So I think this is La Fede, and this is Red Pack. And I have a 1/4 cup of wine, maybe a little more. We like red wine in the sauce. It's delicious. So let's go back to Chris. How's it going, Chris?
Going good.
He's getting ready to start forming the meatballs. So he'll take like a little palmful, and with the palm of your hands, you'll roll the meatballs. Okay, you don't have to make them perfect, but a nice round size. Okay? And he'll roll the meatballs, and let me come back over here. Everything about the sauce is timing. Timing is very important. So This stuff looks about ready to roll. I think I'm going to add the tomatoes. So here I go. I'm just going to add the tomatoes right in here. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to lower this flame a little bit. Okay? And now I'm going to take a wooden spoon. And I'm just going to mix this. I'm going to incorporate this. Alright? You know, my videos are going to get better once I get a professional camera. But right now, I'm dealing with this camera that I have. Small iPhone camera. So we're going to incorporate this and mix it around. And we're going to slowly let this cook. Honestly, I don't know how we're going to get the meatballs in here, but we'll get a couple in there. There's a lot of meat in there. So now that's going to cook. And we're going to come back over here. And Chris is rolling the meatballs. And we're going to fry those and then add those to the sauce also. So you know what? I'm going to come back over here and put the pan that we fried the meat in. I'm going to use that same pan with the grease and everything. Put it back on the stove. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to fry the meatballs in there. And then we're going to throw the meatballs back in the sauce. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll probably get about 13 meatballs out of 1 package of meat.
Half a package of meat.
Yeah, half a package. Actually, it was a half a package of meat because we cut the package in half. So after we fry the meatballs and throw them in the sauce, we'll come back to you and show you what everything looks like when it's finished. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and this is Sunday homemade sauce. So, thank you for tuning in to my channel again, and come back to when I post another video, because I cook pretty often, so I'll be making some more videos. Thank you guys. Buon appetito. Enjoy.